Some games tell stories that set expectations and build excitement for their resolutions. But some games go a little too far and make something that doesn't make sense. I'm Will from Game Rant, and today we're talking about 8 games with endings that come out of nowhere. This should go without saying, but spoilers ahead. Number 8. Metal Gear Solid: Peace Walker. The Metal Gear Solid series is one that is no stranger to endings that leave players scratching their heads. Peace Walker, surprisingly, has an ending that initially brings a solid conclusion to the game. Big Boss stops the nuclear threat and accepts his title as Big Boss. Where the confusion comes into play are the extra ops, where Big Boss would continue to track down the KGB operative Zadornov. After going through these missions, players are greeted with a plot twist, new Metal Gear, and ending that is the true resolution to the game. But with such a tedious journey to get here, most players never actually saw this ending, meaning the sequel Ground Zeroes, which takes place after this ending, makes no sense to most players. Number 7. Like a Dragon: Ishin. Like a Dragon, Ishin sets up the main character, Ryoma, and his foster brother, Hanpeda, as dueling forces. In fact, the ending of the game resolves things fairly simply as Hanpeda comes to his senses and peace is restored. But suddenly there's a new villain, Yodo Yamauchi, who's cartoonishly evil and was controlling Hanpeda the whole time. In reality, the studio wanted to give the main character someone blatantly evil to fight and do away with off-screen. It comes out of left field and undermines the deeper narrative that the story already had. Number 6. God of War 2. God of War 2 is beloved among many God of War fans. It's widely considered the best of the Greek saga, with Kratos falling from grace and building up an army to challenge the gods of Olympus. It culminates with a fight with Zeus and accidentally killing Athena in his place. After which, Kratos and the Titans he recruited along the way launch a full-scale invasion of Mount Olympus. Everything is building to a final showdown, and then the game just stops. What makes it worse is that it took 3 more years for God of War 3 to come out and resolve the Greek plot. Number 5. Halo 2. Halo 2 was a game cut short by the developer Bungie biting off just a little bit more than they could chew during the development time. The plot would raise the stakes of the franchise as multiple Halo rings were set for remote activation as Master Chief rushes to the Ark to stop it. And how does the game end?
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
With a cliffhanger that would leave players desperately wanting to know what comes next. Luckily, Halo 3 came along to finish the story, but it doesn't mean this ending was any less abrupt. Number 4. Too Human. Say what you will about Halo 2's ending, at least it eventually got resolved. Too Human sought to combine Norse mythology with a sci-fi setting in this action RPG. It follows the story of Baldur as he seeks to avenge his wife's death, and causes chaos as a result. Baldur's journey was meant to be the first of a trilogy, but problems with development and legal issues caused Silicon Knights to declare bankruptcy. Too Human will always be a standalone title from a studio that unfortunately couldn't finish the story. Number 3. Borderlands. Borderlands was a unique experience back when it released. The colorful and lighthearted tone of the game was a nice change of pace from the brown and bloom that most first-person shooters stuck to. The game's final boss is just as bombastic as the rest of the game, as the vault the characters had been searching for was meant to contain a giant monster called the Destroyer. After defeating said Destroyer in a tough fight, the player receives a congratulations message, some loot, and a teaser for DLC. That's it. Understandably, this ending is a bit anticlimactic after everything the game put us through. Number 2. Rage. From the company that brought you Doom comes what was marketed as the next big thing in shooters. What Rage ended up becoming, however, was a linear shooter in a gray and uninteresting world. It ended up just being okay, which is still far short of what it was aiming for. The ending seemed to reach the same level of disappointment as Lieutenant Rain activates the Earth's arcs. This segment boiled down to running around and pressing some buttons until doors open and the credits roll. Everything about Rage just fell flat with a disappointing thud. Number 1. Saga Frontier. Saga Frontier has multiple playable characters and as a result has multiple endings. In this case, one of the endings for the character Blue is where things get confusing. Blue and his party quest to find his brother Rouge and either defeat or lose to him 7 times. Afterwards, the party travels down into the underworld to fight Hell's Lord in order to seal it all away. It's all going well until suddenly... the game ends. Square would later release a tie-in book that would explain what happened to Blue and his party, but that doesn't make cutting things off the way that they did any better. That was our list of 8 games with endings that come out of nowhere. For more games and articles like this, remember to drop by GameRant.com. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time.